Oh my, one of our favorite holidays is coming up, National Cheeseburger Day. And we're gonna show you how to celebrate it.
Oh, and we're gonna show you how to create it at home, the perfect cheeseburger. You've gotta see this.
Oh man, is this gonna be a fun episode. We're gonna visit with a foursome of farmers who lean on their agricultural background to build a new brewery.
And we're gonna teach you all about a rage room where you can get out all those frustrations, all those terrible feelings, and it's all legal.
First though, we wanna make sure to recognize a very important holiday, one of our favorites, National Cheeseburger Day, which is September 18th. Have you put up all your decorations at home?
I mean, of course, I have my cheeseburger tree, my cheeseburger lights, of course the cheeseburger stockings.
That sounds delicious, but not as delicious as what we're about to take a look at.
We're gonna teach you how to create the perfect burger, but let's go to the experts for that.
Ah, the cheeseburger. Is there any dish more American? What's that, hot dog? What about you? Americans gobble 20 billion hot dogs a year, but hamburgers are 2.5 times more popular. The name hamburger certainly sounds like something out of Germany, specifically Hamburg, Germany. And Hamburg steaks came with immigrants who left that town for New York City in the 1800s. But the sandwich didn't enjoy mass popularity until America started cranking them out in big cities in the late 19th century. Cheese began upping the game in the 1920s. We like them grilled, we like them fried. We like slogans about them.
To all beef and special sauce, let's cheese, pickles, onions, on a sesame seed bun.
We like them in jingles.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special order, donuts, bread, and all we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
We like them on TV.
One cheeseburger, one Pepsi, one cheese.
Cheeseburger.
And we like them in movies.
This is a tasty burger.
Certainly, we like burgers to go and burgers in restaurants. But at home, how do we make a really good cheeseburger? You Gotta See This went to the experts for tips on how to make the perfect cheeseburger. Bon appetit.
How do you make a great burger at home? First, be sure you know what you're cooking.
Yeah, so I mean, like anything from cooking burgers to your steaks to any of your dishes of protein that you're going to use at your house, it's always important to start with a quality ingredient first.
In other words, not all ground beef is created equal. At Alwyn's Meat Shop, now in its 76th year, all the beef is ground fresh. And that's what's served at the Alwyn Lunch Grill.
We use straight our bench trimmings, which means whole muscle meats. We grind our sirloins, we grind some chucks, we grind some briskets or short rib blends. So we, as a butcher shop, have the luxury of you coming in saying, hey, I'm looking for this kind of blend, can you do it? Absolutely. Because we don't ever take anything out of a tube. We grind it all in-house.
Tube meat might look cheaper, but maybe not in the long run.
So many places, mostly grocery stores, use nothing but tube ground beef, which means those things are ground in 5 or 10,000 pound batches. They've got soy, some of them. They've got different fillers, which is essentially nothing more than a fancy water weight that is cooking out of your meat. You can literally lose on a 1 pound or 16 ounce batch of ground beef up to 9 ounces in water weight coming out of that when you're cooking it or frying it.
There's a lot less waste with fresh ground beef, such as this brisket short rib blend that Alwyn ground this morning for our visit. Per pound, that kind of blend costs $9. But the higher quality not only tastes better, you lose only 2 ounces per pound during cooking.
So people really should be conscious on how much they're actually just pouring down the drain literally versus actually getting consumable good product.
Further, he suggests consumers know what to ask about their beef.
Number one questions we get is this grass-fed? Is this organic? Is this gluten-free? Those are the hot topics of things that are important questions, but they also become a trend, and I think sometimes people ask it and don't really know what they're asking or why they're asking that question.
Rather, there's a better question to ask.
But what you really want to know is, are you getting an all-natural product? You know, I can sell you something that's organic, but pump it full of water and it's still organic, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a good product. So knowing that you're buying an all-natural, that means from the live weight to the slaughter, that product has not been adulterated. It hasn't had radiation. It hasn't been injected with a needle and solution formula to swell it up so you're just paying for water weight essentially.
A good blend is usually a beef to fat ratio of 80 to 20 or 75 to 25. Anything less than that, and you run a risk of a very dry burger. Same thing with lean options like ground elk or ground bison.
But with leanerness comes a little trickiness, shorter cook times, and really babysitting it, because the leaner the meat, the more it's going to dry out, because it doesn't have that moisture retention like a fat would to give you a juicy, what people always look for, a juicy burger. People get juicy burgers because burgers tend to have a little bit more fat content to them.
And as far as seasonings, Alwyn suggests simplicity. With high-quality beef, you don't need to go overboard with the spices.
All we're using is salt, pepper, garlic, and a little spice extract. I just recycle these big dashes bottles, but I buy bulk seasoning.
Put all that together and you've got the right stuff to cook a great burger at home.
Okay guys, order up.
At Ulrich's Rebellion Room, burgers are big business. And Brandon Althofer, the general manager of the downtown Peoria pub, thinks he knows why.
I really think it's because it's comfort food. It reminds you of when you were a kid and you were having a great day at the park and you were at the cookout and you got to play with your friends. It was never a bad option, and your grandma made them, your dad made them, your mom made them, everybody made them, and it just made you happy.
To do burgers right, job one is paying attention during the entire cooking process.
All the little things matter. Because if you don't do one of those things, it's going to change everything.
Burger aficionados might debate on which cooking surface is best, griddle or grill. Althofer says it's a matter of taste.
So I would actually just say flavored. Obviously, you're going to pick up some of that smoke, some of that char if you're using a grill, and a skillet. You're probably going to get an overall better sear. So if you like crispy edges or you like a smash burger type thing, I think it's really a preference.
Ulrich's uses a grill. Althofer says he knows the grill's hot and cold spots, which is important to cooking, even in your own backyard.
Part of it's knowing your equipment. So most your backyard grill masters, very good at what they do, and some of that comes from they know their grill. Their grill. It could be a Weber grill, it could be, they know their hot spots, they know their cold spots. If they're looking for something with a little more char and a little rarer, they're going to turn that heat up. If they're looking for something well done that isn't burnt all the way up, they're going to turn that down. They're going to go a little lower and slower, and they're going to be able to really control that grill, probably because they know their equipment well.
Tips like these are available all the time at Ulrich's, at the seating area right in front of the grill. Althofer calls the area dinner and a show.
Sometimes they'll see me season the burger. They'll want to know what I'm seasoning it with. They'll want to know why I'm putting it, where I'm putting it, why I'm cheesing it when I'm cheesing it, and I'll let them all know.
Okay, you've got our attention. What's the secret for seasoning?
We just use a main season. We use seasoned salt, and a little dab will do you. We try not to over season the burger because we use really good meat, so we don't want to hide the flavor of the burger. But a little salt goes a long way.
And what about the cheese?
A lot of people will kind of cheese their burger when they think it's done, but then it ends up cooking for another minute and they go, well, my burger was dry. And so you're looking to actually cheese it the minute before it's done, so you still have a juicy burger, even for, say, if you wanted it well done.
That's good to know at Ulrich's, where favorite orders are bacon cheeseburgers. In fact, Althofer thinks it's better to keep things simple with toppings.
I mean, you can go to some places and they have good burgers and you can get 16 different toppings, but you're not really having a burger at that point. You're having a kind of a separate entree, because it doesn't even taste like to me, it doesn't even taste like a burger anymore. A burger is just an ingredient in the entree as opposed to being the staple.
He must be doing something right. After 21 years behind the grill, Althofer sees many familiar faces week after week.
It's kind of a cool feeling. You get to really, as much as I'm just making a hamburger on the grill, I end up making some really good personal relationships.
Welcome once again to scrumptious Worth Township, Illinois, for another edition of 8-Track Time Machine, where we look into the sounds and the songs of that finest period of pop music, the 8-track era. And speaking of pop music, you know what I find kind of strange about it? It touches on a lot of the fun things that are dear to our hearts, like romance and cars and good times. But what pop music rarely gets into is food, and that's kind of odd to me. You know, a band might sing about a really great love affair, but not so much a really great dining experience. Think about that. You'd think it'd be a natural, food and music, especially that greatest of American food stuff, the cheeseburger. So to fill that void and our gnawing hunger, 8-Track Time Machine proudly presents the top 3 burger songs. In 1964, the Beach Boys came out with Shut Down Volume 2, and the lead single was Fun, Fun, Fun. And this was inspired by a girl known by Beach Boy Dennis Wilson. And the theme is pretty much well known. A teen says one thing, but then she does another.
Well, she got her daddy's car and she cruised through the hamburger stand now.
You know right from the jump what that song is about. It's pretty simple, and it rides some of those core themes in pop music. Love, cars, rebellion, and all at the burger stand. With the 1968 album Sailor, the Steve Miller Band was still steeped in blues. This was before Miller became the Joker and got more into mainstream rock. Back then, the Gangster of Love was more of the gangster of cheeseburgers. Well, at least for one song, Living in the USA. It briefly touches on some serious subjects like racism and superficiality, but it's kind of an upbeat song, especially with all the doot-doot-doot-doot-doot-doots. The song doesn't take itself too seriously, and Steve Miller is essentially saying, you know what, things might get a little rough, but it's going to be okay. And we really get that indication with the last line of the song.
Somebody give me a cheeseburger.
That's quite the fanciful conclusion. Whereas the Beatles said, all you need is love, Steve Miller is kind of saying, all you really need is a cheeseburger. For the number 1 cheeseburger song of all time, I wonder what it could be. It just might be... In the song, Jimmy Buffett bemoans his healthful diet with all the sunflower seeds and whatnot because he's really fantasizing about a huge hunk of meat. Since that song came out, it's been for decades a concert staple, and it's one of his anthems. And really, if you're trying to pick an anthem for your life, you can't pick anything more all-American or delicious than one about a cheeseburger.
Life can be frustrating. Stress from work, dealing with family, and paying bills can easily make you want to smash something. As a grown-up, you can't just throw a tantrum. Or can you? Finding a safe way to take out all your frustrations used to be tricky. But with the popularity of rage rooms around the world, it's changed the whole dynamic. You can rent this back alley themed room and bash, smash, and trash your way into better mental health. We went just down the street to Peoria's Gone Social to see if this plate-crashing, bat-smashing technique of letting off steam really works.
I really do feel like we help people with whatever their frustrations are, or even fun. It can be very fun for people as well, just to do something that you wouldn't ever totally normally do at home or any everyday life kind of thing where, wow, this is different. And that's what we specialize in.
You can buy a Rage Room package starting at $35 all the way up to $125. But you need to bring your own muscle.
I even joke about quoting Legally Blonde, where she's like, you know, exercise releases endorphins, you know, happy people don't kill people. I mean, it's an exercise too. So you get that workout in there, and that also helps and makes people feel better.
In fact, in the past 3 years, co-owners Sarah Reuter and her husband Matt have seen thousands of people taking out their irritations and annoyances in a very physical way.
People are angry. You know, we'd been shut down multiple times due to COVID restrictions, and life had changed as we know it. And yeah, people were mad, and people just need to release that pent-up energy that they have, that frustration, and release it in a very, safe, somewhat constructive manner instead of in a bad way. It's very cathartic.
The You Gotta See This crew wanted to test out this theory. Mark Welp, or The Destroyer, as we like to call him, Killa Kayla, our photographer, producer extraordinaire, and an amazing crew member, Christian the Crusher, suited up to release some negative emotions.
Out of toner.
For Coal Creek Brewing Company, lessons learned here have led to the creation of this here. The Princeton business has 4 owners, all of whom have deep roots in farming. 2 still farm, and the other 2 grew up on family farms. Lessons learned working fields and livestock help prepare the quartet with a sense of teamwork needed to run a busy brewery.
Growing up around livestock and around the farm, teaches you responsibility, teaches you to be selfless, right? And I think that's been a great rapport with all of us. It's never been on me or I or any one individual. We've been really moving as a team and doing just whatever needs done.
50 miles north of Peoria, Princeton is the seat of Bureau County. Of the many farms in the agricultural county, 2 belong to the families of Trevin Kennedy and Mike Grieve. The 2 friends, who these days have non-farming day jobs, got together to brainstorm possible business ventures. That's when they met Justin Stang. He raises crops in Bureau County, while his wife Danielle Bender raises livestock. Stang suggested a tasty business idea.
I've always had a passion for craft beer.
In fact, from time to time elsewhere over the years, Stang has worked in the beer industry. He shared his brewing ideas with Kennedy and Grieve, and they decided to jump in.
Pedal to the metal.
They decided to put their operation in Princeton, as the nearest breweries were 30-plus miles away. Further, Princeton has a lot to offer as a tourism destination.
People are seeking out that kind of rural experience. I think Princeton's the perfect place to find that. There's a lot of agriculture here, but there's also a lot of history in the town.
So, last spring, they got to work, fast. Inside a downtown commercial structure built in 1876, they began to fashion a bar in front and a brewing area in back.
Which was a crazy timeline. Like, there was a bunch of stress, and learning to lean on each other, but also push each other. There was times Justin's pushed on me or I pushed on Trevin, and that's not a comfortable feeling. But learning to deal with those stresses were a big gain, I think, as a human and just moving forward.
After their day jobs every weeknight, they worked on the brewery. On weekends, wives and parents pitched in. The toil seemed endless, but they pushed on.
Growing up on the farm, there's a lot of days during planting season or harvest season where you're working however long you need to work. So I guess that concept isn't new to any of us.
And in just 2 months, the brewery was ready to open. To name the place, they went back to farming. Coal Creek gets its start near the Grieve family farm in the nearby town of Buda.
It's got some roots there, so.
So do the beers. In part, the brewing process is farm to tap. Coal Creek orders many ingredients from throughout the Midwest, but for some specialty beers, they look for Princeton area produce.
We've gotten rhubarb from a local farm. We've gotten raspberries from a local farm. So we do use local ingredients in that aspect.
It gets tough to balance brewery duties with day jobs, especially farming.
It's pretty grueling. Yeah, it's seasonal, of course. So, you know, one week I might work 80 hours, and the next week I might work 30 hours. Just kind of goes ebbs and flows a little bit. Harvest season's always our busiest time.
But at the brewery, the 4 owners, along with 5 employees, pitch in to make things work.
It can be long days. It's very long days, but the way that we all work together, there's a really great support group.
And so far, it's working out well on both sides of the taps.
I think we're just trying to stay, you know, extremely humble, give the community a place to come, share conversation. We're not really trying to be off the wall and crazy and do something shiny just to draw people in, right? We're just trying to stay true to who we are, who we think the community is, and I think people are buying into that. And so we'll just try to stay true and honest, and hopefully it works out.
So is this the trolley to the land of make-believe?
It just goes to Princeton.
Oh, when does
But
it
you can pretend that you're in the land of make-believe.
So if like Daniel Tiger were to come by, you'd be willing to take him wherever he would need.
Right, right. We just go up and down Main Street because Princeton has 2 business districts. And it's a Chamber of Commerce thing of where they want to shuttle shoppers between the north end and the south end. It's just fun to ride the trolley. You'll get the kids. The kids bring the adults.
The You Gotta See This crew heads to Wildlife Prairie Park hunting for a secretive creature native to Illinois, but is pretty sneaky. It's the tiger salamander.
They are the largest terrestrial salamander in Illinois, but they spend a lot of their time underground, so you don't see them very much. And they're called tiger salamanders because of they're not really stripes, they have spots.
The first thing we spotted was 6-year-old Rufio's face. I mean, come on, he's smiling and he's so stinking cute.
I know, I love taking pictures of his face.
Tiger salamanders can be difficult to spot because of their secretive nature and ability to spend long periods of time burrowed under the ground.
You'll notice he has really small eyes because they'll spend a lot of their time underground and all that, and they don't need to see as much. They feel more than anything.
In fact, they spend most of the year below the surface, which allows them to escape high temperatures and sun. Another salamander fun fact is that they love a moist climate.
When we get lots of rain, they'll be out and about because they're amphibians and they get a lot of their moisture through their skin. So we make sure he always has a water dish and it's really moist in there to keep his skin nice and moist because we don't want them to dry out. They lay eggs in the water and then the larvae hatch, and they are aquatic until they start growing their limbs, kind of like other amphibians. And they'll kind of eat anything in the water, a lot of insects, but when they get bigger, they'll start to eat like small mice or other things if they end up getting in the water. And yeah, kind of opportunistic eaters.
But Rufio, he loves a big, juicy cricket.
Just swallow it whole, just like toads and frogs when they grab them up and then they just digest it in there.
These nocturnal creatures can be found in still waters of ponds. Here at Wildlife Prairie Park, Rufio has no predators, but there are dangers to him and his wild cousins.
I think the biggest threat for these guys is wetlands drying up, and so we want to keep areas like that for them because that's where they're gonna mate and lay their eggs and grow, and they need that area because they're amphibians.
One thing for sure is that this little amphibian has us wrapped around his little feet with a smile like his.
My watermelon feta skewers are the perfect appetizer to make on a lazy summer day. You can make them ahead and they're super delicious. I've cut 24 half-inch cubes of watermelon and a dozen cubes of feta cheese. If you're lucky enough to grow fresh mint or basil in your garden, a quick trip to the garden can happen right now before assembling these. I start by placing 1 cube of watermelon on my skewer. Now I alternate fresh mint, a cube of feta, and another fresh mint. Finish it off with a cube of watermelon. And there you go. Arrange your skewers on a platter, and you can either put it in the refrigerator under some plastic wrap, or if you're ready to serve, go ahead and drizzle your balsamic glaze on top, and you have a fresh, summery, beautiful appetizer.
I think Julia Child would have said that's a scrumptious episode we just had.
Oh, she would have loved it, right? There was cooking, there was brewing, there was smashing, all sorts of good stuff.
It was a lot of fun.
You know what's going to be a lot of fun?
What?
The next episode of
You Gotta See This. Where do I work? PBS. Where do I work?